Senio, he from the foe when John the Don stay on the grind. Yo, that's Larry Podcast, put it on, it's right on time. This ain't for the week, cause we do this once a week. Cause kicking it like sneakers ain't right for your tweeters. Yo, that's Larry Podcast. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry Podcast. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry Podcast. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry Podcast. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry Podcast. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry Podcast. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry Podcast. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Larry Podcast. Yo, that's Larry. Yo, that's Tune in.
And we're back with another one. This is the Yo That's Larry Podcast. If you're new here, this is what we do here. We cover current events, world news, and we entertaining as hell. And I'm here with
John the Don
and Brooklyn Pee Wee. You heard?
Yeah, we had to bring Brooklyn P back, man, by popular demand. So
I appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem. What we got going first today, fellas? Like, where y'all want to start? Or do y'all want me to start?
Go ahead, man. Sure.
Hey, I've been thinking this lately. Is it possible that President Trump is running the country using Chat GPT?
Wow.
Is it?
Wow.
Is it possible? Who want to chime in on that first?
I mean, he's doing a lot of freestyling. I could say that, but like I said, I said this a lot to a lot of people. You know, he's not really a politician. You know, he's a businessman who really on some gangster stuff, right? And you know, you see how he talked to a lot of foreign dignitaries and how he talked to a lot of people, you know, here in the country who have certain political influences on people. He talked to them slick, crazy, like, listen, like, you're not tougher than me. And he, you know, he talked slick and greasy to him. You know, you see, he talked crazy to the dude, the president of Liberia. You know, he said, I didn't know you speak English so well. Come on, Liberia, English is their first language. You understand? Yeah. But that tells you he knows nothing about politics, but he's a gangster. He's not, you know, really a politician. He has no, you know, remember, he never held no public office before this.
Yeah.
You know, only the last time he was president. So let's be clear about that. So he just being a gangster. Chat B, you know, the thing, the chat thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, you know, so, you know, he kind of sounds real robotic in a sense. Remember, he like 80 years old anyway, right? You know, so he ain't as sharp as the rest of them was. You know, so a lot of things that he say, some things make sense, some things don't make sense, but you know, he moving like a gangster. Let's be clear about that. You know, he talk real slick, greasy, like, oh God, like, you know.
And see, the only reason why I even put it like that is because I've been using Chat GPT lately.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing if you really get familiar with it, it'll give you the broken down versions of whatever you're asking it. Like, it's like I told you earlier, it's like Google on steroids. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you let it know you and you talk to it a certain way, yeah, it's I can see you can ask it some serious questions as far as, okay, you got a $17 trillion deficit. What's a simple solution of getting out of it if you was the president of the United States? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's gonna come up with a list of, well, you do this first, you do that first, and it's not gonna have the empathetic. It's not gonna feel that.
Who is backing that?
Huh?
Who is backing that?
That's a good question.
Wow.
I do not know.
Good question. I mean, who owns that? Is it Google? Is it this? Is it that?
Cause it got to be somebody sitting right there just reading questions.
Now I think, you know, this is the dawn of the artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
You know, so being if this is the dawn, and this is just the beginning of that with this Chat GPT thing, what it'll be like in 5 years, you know? Like, you know, oh man, I don't even want to think about that. I mean, like, I might lose sleep about this right now, but that's something to think about. We was talking about the AI thing, you know, in the previous episode. That's all part of it, you know. Oh my God, if this dude is using that, he's a real piece of junk. Like he ain't, you know, he's a gangster. He ain't as gangster as we think he is. Let's make this clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I say, and I could be far off. You know what I'm saying? But that's the one thing that would make sense to me is if you're using a program, because it takes the emotion out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I just had this conversation with my daughter. Ruling your household is totally different than ruling a country.
Indeed.
So ruling your household, you're making the decisions that's best for your household. But ruling a country, everybody's not going to be on board. But the difference between your household and your country, like in your household, yeah, somebody might get mad and go slam their door in their room. You know what I'm saying? But what is the equivalent of that when you're talking about the country and you made a certain decision?
Absolutely.
People could die.
Indeed.
Like, just be real. Like,
what they saying with this thing with the when he got rid of a lot of these government employees, the thing that's happening in Texas, they saying a lot of this stuff, a lot of the employees he got rid of, it could have been a lot of those people that was killed. You know, my blessings and condolences go out to all the people who lost family members or who was affected by that natural disaster. They said a lot of that could have been prevented due to the fact that, you know, there were people in place at one point in time who could have told them, you know, hours ahead of time, y'all could get up out of there and go here, go to higher ground or whatever. But he removed a lot of those people from their jobs, so a lot of those people died. You know, there's a lot of, you know, dealing with the bureaucracy and all that. You know, when this one got to answer to that one, and you got to go to FEMA to this and FEMA to that. But at the same time, you got people dying behind this for him being who he is, and he, you know, he put that in. It's what it is. He put it in effect. You know, and it's sad, but that's the shit that gangsters do. You know what I mean? You know, so they, you know, it's what it is. He riddled the situation with bullets and count the corpses later.
yeah.
You know, it is what it is. That's how he looking at it. You know, it's sad though, but
and see that's why like also with the conversation that I was having, we all can't be president. You know what I'm saying? Like, my heart is too big for me to be president. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I can make those decisions that could eventually lead to something like that. Like, of course, you're not thinking about that when you made the decision.
absolutely.
You're just thinking about, okay, if I can cut funds, I'm trying to cut the hemorrhaging. You know what I'm saying? So,
Indeed.
like, if we're hemorrhaging money, I'm going to cut the areas where we're hemorrhaging money. All right, so you make these decisions, and like I say, people lose their life based on it. That's going to kill me. You know what I'm saying? That would kill me.
Yeah, I would lose sleep at night behind this.
So, like
I'd love to be president.
so you can make those decisions?
Yeah.
I mean, you're that's why you on here.
Because I got the job now.
I mean,
All they can do is impeach him if they don't like it.
Yeah.
But look what Trump doing. He ain't got out of it yet.
I mean,
So I can't be too bad.
I mean, true.
Trump is gangster to the core, man.
I said I love his interviews.
Yeah, he's gangster to the core.
As a president, no. As a person, yeah.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, I don't think he's not political. You know, not even from no standpoint. I don't see the politicalness in him. You know, he's moving corporate. You know, he come from a corporate background. He come from corporate gangsterism.
He just shows all it take a little bit of money to be president.
That's all it takes. Not only that, you got it's connections and relationships.
Yeah.
He's maintaining relationships that he had in the business world. That while he's in his presidency, it's favors, it's this, it's that. You owe me this, or blah blah blah. I did this for you, you know, whatever time ago it was. He's still taking that same blueprint. He's bringing it into a political arena where he is the commander in chief and ruler of the free world, if you want to call it that, right? So by him doing all of that, when you see it and you watching it, you like, damn, like this dude don't care about anything. And it's literally he really doesn't. He just, I think with him, to keep it real and keep it funky with you, I think Trump is more concerned about his place in history, right? He want to be remembered like Stalin, Hitler, Reagan. He want his name to ring out. 100 years from now, that's what he want. He want his name to ring bells and all that. And I understand that, but god damn, you can't do it on the, on the backs of everybody else. But that's what he want. He there, so he want. You notice in the last, he ain't been the president a year. You see all the changes that been made, all the stuff that he been doing.
So you think his failed assassination was
that shit was a
something he did?
That shit was a stunt. That was a publicity stunt. My man.
Now, I can't agree with that one.
I don't know. Like, I mean, this. We make a clip for that, but I don't even want to use that term. But like the way it is orchestrated and all of that, man, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised that this is something that is all, once I saw that happen, and I didn't care about neither one of them, because neither one of them was the cream of the crop of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Let's make it clear. Neither one of them was the A student, they D students, right? So when I saw that, and when I seen that happen, and I seen when he walked in, he got his ear bleeding, he threw his fist in the air with the American flag. I said, yo, this shit like wrestling. This shit crazy. What are we doing here? I said, he won. It's over with. It's over with. When I saw that, I said, damn, I see what type of games they playing now.
But that's a big game. If you think about it, though. It's just somebody shoot the bullet.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta trust that shooter.
But not only that, you have to, in order, like, just think about that. That's some shit, like, you ever seen, it was a movie years ago called A Manchurian Candidate, right?
Yeah.
And it's something, it's like what they do, they deal with these psyops and all this type of stuff. So they put these plans together a long, way before time. So this is a plan. They done corrupted this kid. I'm hearing he was an engineering student, he was this, he was that. And all of a sudden, he done turned into this radical killer.
And nobody seen it coming.
This is something that they put in effect. They had to get somebody beside him and and shoot the shit in his head. Start breaking him down. Now we got him right here. We got one. But he probably one of 10. He just the one that they knew that was going to do his thing. That's what it seemed like to me. I can't say it's true, but this is an opinion of mine. I'm just seeing it. I'm just a historical observer, just sitting in the cut watching this. Damn, this like some shit from when they whack Lincoln and some shit like that. You know what I mean? When they whack Kennedy, there's always a conspiracy theory involved.
And see, I see it different. Like that's why I say I couldn't agree with that.
Yeah,
for some fact of, like, I look at, if I'm in his shoes and somebody try to take me out, right? The mentality I had before they try to take me out, my mentality is going to change. You know what I'm saying? Because for what I was doing leading up to that point, you're trying to get rid of me. So now, okay, especially if I got an idea of where this hit or attempted hit came from, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going to make y'all feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my whole, it's almost like, and I ain't trying to mix the two, but I mean, that's the closest person I can think of. It's almost like when Tupac got shot at Quiet Studios. The Tupac that came out after that was different than the Tupac before Quiet Studios.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
he felt like he was being betrayed, though. He felt like that situation, like he was, like, it's true. He was more happy-go-lucky than when he came out. It was something else. But remember, though, he did a bid after that. The next recording was like after he did a bid from all of that. So that kind of changed him too. Like he was in Clinton and all of that. Of course, I guess it would change anybody. But you talking about the son of a revolutionary, that sort of thing. His mother was part of this movement, that galvanized young black youth in the early 60s and the 70s and all of that. Who, he sat at the foot of these people. So then now you take them from there, to this position, then you put him in the penitentiary, then he come out. It's gonna be some dramatic changes.
Yeah.
You know, I respect that what you're saying. Yeah. Understandable.
And like I said, I wasn't trying to mix the two, but
I get it. Yeah. You trying to make a correlation between the two.
Like you trying to take me out, and only thing I'm just doing is putting on a press conference or whatever, showing or talking about what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And y'all trying to unalive me. Y'all trying to put my brains on the speakers. You know what I'm saying?
Is it true that he wanted to use the 50 Cent Mini Man shit?
Man, I seen a video of him walking out the Mini Man. I don't know if it's real.
Yeah.
Which devil, blood me?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't cry no more. I said, God damn, this shit is what it is. Like, publicity is popularity contest. When I saw that,
that's it.
I said, God damn, this man done stole the election. You know what I mean? You know, he did the shit like it was a cartoon I used to watch. Me and my sister used to watch when we was kids. It was on VHS. It was called Fritz the Cat, and they had what they call the Black Town. In the Black Town, everybody was crows and shit, right? So they had a black president, and at the time they gave the black people New Jersey. All the black people in the country, they gave them New Jersey. The capital was Newark. And I remember the president was on the same type of shit, publicity shit. He said, I'm not going to lose this election. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lose this election. And they popped his head off. You know what I mean? Because he felt that he wasn't where they wanted him to be, so they whacked him. They got him up out of here, right? It's kind of like that, but he orchestrated this. You know what I mean? I think that's my opinion. Because that shit, come on, man. I don't give a damn. Like, you got a scoop on an AR-15. I don't care if you just learned how to shoot that shit for 2 weeks. You're gonna pop somebody's head off. It ain't no, how many shots was let off? 2, 3, 4, 5. Ain't no telling how many shots. The first shot posted up, if he, no, from a long shot, you know, I shoot guns and stuff like that occasionally, you know. So, I mean, come on, AR-15 from where he was at, he had stealth. Nobody knew he was there. You know what I mean?
Man, they knew he was there. Cause
they knew. Yeah, they
seen
knew
him when he got up.
They put him there.
Yeah.
They put him there. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all ever heard of Nicholas Irvin?
Nicholas Irvin, no.
He's like the best sniper out there. He's a former Army Ranger. He was talking about that. He was like, that was a setup too, because ain't no way you that close. It just hit the air.
With a scope on it? Come on.
But now, so, I mean, this right here going to be controversial. Like, you know, the earshot hit somebody behind them.
It killed them, right?
They didn't care about that part.
That's
what
not
about
damage.
making him the center of attention.
But I'm saying, like, that did happen, though,
They could
right?
care less about that.
But I'm saying that did happen, though.
Yeah.
Right?
They knew it was going to be casualties.
They knew that. They didn't care nothing about that. We don't even know who those people are by name these days. We know all we know is Donald Trump got his ear clapped. We knew they clapped his ear, you know, or whatever they did, and I'm watching it, and he walking out of there with his fists in the air, blood everywhere. I said, this man, if Kamala had him, whatever, how many points she was leading, it's over now.
Yeah.
You know, because you know what I mean. Come on, this is the age of the shock and awe. You know what I mean? Come on, it's over with. What are we doing now?
And say, I didn't even know what happened, man. People were talking like, you see what happened to Trump today? I'm like, nah, I don't be watching that stuff. Man, somebody tried to kill him. I thought when they said that, I thought it was like on some, like he lost the debate. You know what I'm saying? I ain't thinking like, no, somebody literally.
Trying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like in 2024?
Yeah.
I'm not thinking that's what you're going to see on TV, live TV.
Live TV. It had to be live. You know what I mean?
I ain't thinking that. No, no.
It had to be, because you know, like we very desensitized by violence. You know, our children play games where they killing people, all this stuff like that. I play them too. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just being real. Call of Duty, all of this. You know, they running down on people. What's the other joint they like? Grand Theft Auto. So you dealing with, we very desensitized by
niggas in the hood game right now.
Yeah, so you dealing with all of that. But that when it happened, it wasn't a big, like, people was going. If it was in 1985, people would have went crazy about it. But this is, you know, we so desensitized by violence these days that us seeing that was really nothing. It was more like,
on it to happen.
Yeah, like it's more like, word that happened to him. Versus when I remember when I was a kid when they did that to Ronald Reagan, I never forget it. I was in the first grade. I'm coming home from school. I was in the first grade, right? I'm coming. So,
I'm gonna let you go with that, man.
Yeah, he tried to say, yeah. I remember I'm coming home. They let us home from school early. I didn't know what happened. I'm in the first grade, coming home from school, coming to the house. Every TV in the house on that. I'm like, what happened? They said they tried to attempt to assassinate Ronald Reagan. It was a big deal. Like, that shit was a big deal. Like, in comparison to what happened to Trump and to Reagan, that this shit is like nothing. It's like it's a shadow of what happened to Reagan.
Yeah.
You know, even though they almost killed him. You know what I mean? So, but it's not even the same. That shows you how we are that much desensitized by violence in this era. Because what happened to Reagan, that shit was a big deal. Like, oh, they trying to kill a president. You know, even though Donald Trump was in the sitting president at the time, they still tried to kill him. It was a moment, and it was like maybe on the news for maybe a week or so, and that was it. Yeah, it was something else on news.
It's the quickest I've ever seen them move past a situation like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
They
that's
probably feel like us. He paid for that.
Yeah, and don't tell her. I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I'm just.
Trump like he'll have a book written on his deathbed. He'll have it in there.
Yeah,
he's gonna drop.
They could have killed. I'm just saying. I mean, come on, you got a clear shot, bro. With an AR-15 with a nice good old scope on it, your target is right there.
It wasn't like he was shooting miles, so
no,
you have to anticipate.
He was less than a quarter. It was like not even an eighth of a mile.
Yeah, he was pretty damn close.
Yeah, that was close.
Then you had the fall guy, so he was good.
Yeah, he was closer than what they said Lee Harvey Oswald was when he popped Kennedy head off.
Hey, Trump
allegedly.
Trump might have messed it up. That's why he got hit in the ear. Probably wasn't supposed to get hit at all.
Yeah, at all. You know what I mean? It was like, oh shit. You know, I remember that? They was like rushing him up out of there. Then you see him. They bringing him through. Then he threw his fist in the air. I said, oh my God. This is so scripted. I said, this shit like wrestling. You know what I mean?
Man, the security that he had with him.
They said a lot of them niggas got suspended behind that.
They lost their job.
It took them a long time to respond after he got hit.
Because like the woman, they showed the woman, I think she lost her job. Like she was fumbling with the gun. Yeah, like because man, like that's why I don't think it was like a.
I don't think they knew.
I don't think he knew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't think he had anything to do with it.
If anything, somebody else was trying to take that man out.
Yeah.
And so they went in for him because like it's like, is it serious? Are we supposed to respond? Like it's one of them. Like you was caught. Everybody was caught off guard because there's
supposed to hear a gunshot. He wasn't supposed to get hit.
There's no way that this is going on in 2024. That's the way I'm feeling about it. Like I don't think
that's
it was.
That's why I said it don't make sense. Like I mean, let me reiterate. Let me. I don't think that he had knowledge of what was happening, but I think his team and the people that surround himself with him and the people that he's connected to, I think they might have had something to do with it. Not to really hit him and nothing like that, but they needed him. They knew
we need something.
We need something. We got to put this at the bottom of the knife. You done said all this other stuff. You said this girl wasn't black. She's actually an Indian. You doing all, you still ain't moving up in the polls. We got to do something. That was the rabbit out of the hat.
Now that I can agree.
Voila, boom.
Yeah, we need something, so we're gonna give you something. You know what I'm saying? You may not like it, so we ain't even gonna tell you.
Absolutely,
about it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see that. But another thing I want to bring to y'all attention.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing this a lot lately. We ain't talk about it prior, so this right gonna catch y'all off guard. Have y'all heard of the Anunnaki?
Oh man. Wow.
I heard of, but I can't remember what I heard of. What it was about.
I heard about them. You know, when I was younger, I used to read a lot of Zachariah Stitchin, right? People like that, you know. But you know, to me, it kind of. I don't know. I don't know anything like about if it's real, if it's not real, or if the Nephilim, all this stuff. I don't know what it is because I don't really, subscribe to to that thing like as much as I like when I was young and I first got a hold of Zachariah Stitchin and all those people, but it to me it sounds like good. You know, now when I know it sounds like very very good science fiction, right? Because like you know now when I'm getting into Zachariah Stitchin and those guys, where they get this information from, right? They saying the
Sumerian
tablets, emerald tablets, all of this other stuff, right? Well, who's translating this stuff?
Yep.
How do you translate it to English, right? Because everything loses itself in translation. We know that, right? So something that was written 30,000 years ago, and whatever the dominant tongue at the time, whoever's running the show, it got to go into that. So it may go into this, to that, to Egyptian or whatever. Then it may go into Aramaic. Then it may go into Greek. Then Latin. Then German. Then French, Spanish, and English. So we don't know exactly what actually is said or what ruling parties want to leave out this. We're going to add this. We're going to put this in there. We can't say this, you know, because it'll make us look like us, you know, not as who we say we are. But now, how I view the Emerald Tablets, I mean not the Emerald Tablets, but the Anunnaki thing, I chalk it up in the same bag as what's that stuff called? Scientology and all of that. I put it in the same bag. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I said, I used to read them books and all that. And I used to be like, wow. It was like, now the older I get, it's more like science fiction. Maybe. It's some people going to be in the comments going to crucify me. You know what I mean? Because they're going to be experts in it. You know what I mean? But I guess, you know, but I don't see how anybody could be experts in something like that where they can't really bring it. Where it come from? You know, you can't dig enough with that, but it's possible. I mean, it's possible, but I'm just, from my point of view now reading it, it is very good science fiction. It could be Anunnaki and Enlil and all these things, all these people. A lot of that too is when you read. It was another book I read when I was younger. It's dealing with the Hindus have, what's it called? Bhagavad Gita. I might be mispronouncing the book, but it's all in the same. It comes from that same line. Like when they talking about alien races and beings fighting and all of that, it gets into that. That predate all that Anunnaki stuff, right? Because they in those religions, they this is what they teach that. You know, all if you ever see any of their gods be blue with four arms and all this stuff like that. So Kali, all of those beings or whatever, you know.
But you know, that's the vision or that's the image that they see when you have like a psychedelic trip.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, always said one day I was going, you know, go somewhere and pop me a couple. I said when I turn 50, I said I'm gonna give me a couple acid tabs and see what it's like.
I want to do
with a guided trip.
The guided trip.
Ayahuasca.
That's
one of these days. I mean, I'm gonna do that on a guided trip to see what it is, just to experience that. You know,
I want to be there when y'all do that.
But like, I mean, you gonna do it too?
No, I'm not. I'm gonna record and write down the information for the people.
Yeah, he's gonna be the scribe. He's gonna be the scribe, right?
Damn, Larry keep walking off.
Come back.
But you know, from, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it ain't true. But from like now, like just the older I get and I'm reading it, and it's all that stuff sound like a lot of science fiction. But it's just, it could be true. Maybe it's not. You know, like but they always say they're talking about the Sumerians and all these people. They're not even the first civilized civilization on the planet. Like, you know, shout out to Brother Oba who said, who kept it a G. He said Congo before Kemet. First time I ever heard that term.
I've never heard of it.
Congo before Kemet. Shout out to Brother Oba. He said that first. He did a lecture on that many years ago. You can you know, get at, you know, find out who he is, and you know, he can sing you some. Congo was before Kemet. When I was talking about earlier we was dealing with the when the particular, it's called forgot the name of the book, but this person wrote a book and is dealing with he was like the head guy at one of the head archaeologist for whatever it was, and he was when he was the #1 dude on the planet, right? And so what happened is the further and further he started digging, the older and older everything was, and not only the older it became, the blacker it was. And it wasn't in Egypt he was digging at. It was in Rwanda, Uganda, the DRC, all of those places like that. That was like, I think to me, from what I'm understanding and realizing and what I have read, just from my synopsis, maybe I'm wrong. I might have, but I think them the people that built the pyramids. To them it was nothing. The pyramids to them was like I said, Hollywood or some shit. Like, okay, just look at it this way, like everything that's cool that we consider to be cool is like hood shit, right?
Yeah.
It's us. We bringing that shit to it, right? So the shit that ain't cool no more, the lames start doing it. And then you like, man, that shit is corny. I think to them, that's what those pyramids was to the people who built them. They went back and started doing what they was doing. They started dealing with their ancestral worship. This is the shit that they've been doing for forever, whatever. And that's how I look at it. But, it's that wasn't like, remember, like those pyramids and stuff are, we grade them on the scale of what they are from a European mind, right? To them, that's some shit. That's a wonder. You understand? If you was in a cave for 10,000 years, of course it's going to be a wonder. Versus a person who's in a village and he can heal everybody in the village and make sure they sustain, they can eat and do whatever they need to do and whatever. And he could tell you when it's going to rain or whatever it may be for you to get you through this rainy season or this dry season or whatever it may be. Then that's real shit. Versus you erecting something out of the sand, whatever it may be, that don't mean nothing. That's shocking awe to a person who's been living in the cave, eating raw meat, you know what I'm saying, and who don't have a language. That's shocking awe for him. But to you, that's not. We did. It's like, yo, yeah, my people did that 30,000 years ago. That's how they looking at it. It ain't nothing. We can do it again if we want to. Matter of fact, we got some stuff over here. If you want to see that, that's 1,000,002 years old, whatever. But that's basically what it is. That's how I look at it. I may be wrong, but it's just my perspective.
And see, like, the reason why I brought up the Anunnaki is because they're saying that there's a person, like, I don't have the proof of it, but they say that the Pentagon, or somebody from the Pentagon, like a representative or something, is speaking on them coming to visit us.
It's possible.
Soon.
It's possible, but I don't, oh, man, I mean, like, anything is possible when it comes to that. That's...
And see, do you know the breakdown of what that is? Allegedly, there's a group of people, and this is what they call the Anunnaki. So the group of people came from another planet. Their planet was in need of resources.
Yeah.
They needed gold.
And the gold was for the purposes of helping their
ozone layer.
Ozone layer, yeah. They needed to build it.
So they came down here and we got a lot of resources. So of course it was in Africa, right? So we got a lot of gold and stuff like that. So they was mining it themselves. But then they realized this is some back-breaking work. You know what I'm saying?
So we got to create a race of beings.
So they took the Neanderthals or whatever?
Yeah, they took a Neanderthal and one of their DNA
and mixed them
together and created white folks. That's what they say.
Well, they didn't. Well, from what I've seen, they didn't necessarily say white folks. They just said like that would be your Adam.
Yeah, the first Adam. Yeah,
the first baby born out of this mix will be your Adam.
Yeah,
right. So then everything spawned from that.
Yeah.
All right. So they created them in order to be the workers.
Yeah, yeah.
So they won't have to do the back.
The laborers and all of that, right?
Yeah. And like all of that turns into the pyramids. All of that turn into like the stuff that can't be explained.
Yeah.
It turns into them. You know what I'm saying? But
so what you're saying is humans was created by aliens.
The human really, that you know of.
That you know of. It was humans already here.
Yeah. That would be your Neanderthal.
The Neanderthals.
The caveman.
Cavemen.
Ooga, ooga, ooga.
Yeah, they had to create them into like a race of beings where
So the caveman was before Adam and Eve.
Yes.
I mean, they say that,
Well,
you know,
based on,
based on that, yeah, that's what they're saying. But like, you know, like I said, like I think we spoke about this earlier. You know, like from this historical record, when the caveman existed at the same time they had pyramids. The caveman existed at the same time Timbuktu existed, right? You know, and the people in Congo or whatever, you know, those places like that was doing what they was doing, and they had whole civilizations, and the caveman existed at the same time. When
So
those
the giants exist.
Huh?
The giants.
I don't want to. I can't get into that. That's
That would be the
Because I've seen
that's
something.
Nephilim,
Yeah.
and that's all that stuff. I got a guy you can talk to about that. He very good at that. He used to work with us. His name is Bobby Love, right? That's dealing with stuff dealing with Enoch and all that. I don't know nothing. I mean, I read about it, but I don't subscribe to that particular train of thought.
Kind of reading something about it. Said that's the reason for the floods to wash the giants away.
That's what they said.
The
I mean,
giants,
that's
those angels that came
that's
in
what
and
I
created the
read
universe.
that, but I can't. Me myself, I'm not going to get into that because that's something I'm not. I don't truly believe that it's possible. Like I said, it's good reading. You know what I mean? And it, like, God damn, that's what happened. Oh, wow, it's good, but without
Something had to build them pyramids. Those some big blocks that's on the pyramid.
It's one of the things where like this is where I'm just gonna because it is we can stay on it all day. I think. I knew you were gonna get it. But like it's one of the things that if we go too far down the rabbit hole of that, like I just feel it's interesting.
Yeah, we got to go there.
If you
Good conversation.
you go too far down the rabbit hole of it, then you're bringing into question other things, and
It needs to be questioned though.
not today. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
yeah, not today, but somebody got to come to a conclusion.
Like, cause that makes it seem like it makes you question your existence.
You don't.
I'm saying like I never questioned it like this until this information.
I question my existence more about being dead than I'm alive.
I mean, you're gonna be dead a lot longer than you are alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, that is a good way to look at it. But with the whole, if the tablets is correct and the Anunnaki did that to us in order just to be workers, then it makes you question your existence of even being here. You know what I'm saying? But if you fall into believing that, then it takes out the plan that God got for you and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like it would confuse things. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, there's an old episode of Scooby-Doo where they was chasing the bad guy and they found these.
Episode.
Huh?
That's every episode.
Yeah, but they chasing the bad guy and they go into this cave and they find a tablet, and the tablet is talking about the Anunnaki. I thought that was crazy as hell that's on an episode of Scooby-Doo.
Wow.
There's an episode. Do you remember back in the day? Richard Pryor had
the show.
skit.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
They went into this cave. They moved a block out the way. So him and two white men go into the cave, like two Indiana Jones type people, and he with them. They go in there and there's a book right there. He looking through the book. Oh man, this is gonna prove this. This is gonna prove that. Man, them dudes start backing away from him and roll that block and locked his ass back in there. Like I don't know. They bring stuff to Hollywood, but they're showing you like bits and pieces of the truth.
But it's in satire.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's in some funny shit. It's in something comedic, cartoonish. So you don't take the seriousness of it. They always throw it to you in that.
Well, Da Vinci Code kind of put it out there a little bit.
Yeah.
But they still showed it to you in a movie form.
Yeah. Damn, I forget the name of this book. That's what I was talking about earlier. I forget the name of it. It's damn. I don't know what it is. It'll come to me.
But yeah,
I think it's Black Genesis. That's what it's called. It might be Black Genesis. That's maybe what it's called, Ancient Genesis, something like that. But it gets into what I was talking about, that the deeper he got, everything was becoming more older, and they was doing karmic dating, and it was older than they thought it was. So they cut the funding because it doesn't coincide with what the Catholic Church is saying.
There's narratives.
There's narratives. Yeah, it's not the narrative. So no, we gotta stop your funding. So, but it's I think the world is far older, and civilizations are far older than what they say it is, because it has to go with the narrative of what they say. Like I said earlier, when you're dealing with, they say the Dark Ages with the Europeans and all of that, right? Okay, during this time, like from whatever, maybe it may have lasted 1,000 years. They said the Dark Ages, right? You know, they don't really tell you what's going on during this time. Just that nothing was able to manifest or grow, or people had any new ideas or knowledge or whatever. It's possible, but the Catholic churches and all that, they suppressed all of that. At the same time, China was doing what they was doing. You know, Africa was doing what they was doing. You know, Mesoamerica was doing what they was doing. The Arabic world was doing what they was doing. But they was stuck because the church suppressed a lot of their stuff. So then when they came out of that, everything was conquest. You understand? Now you gotta understand, these are people who are descendants of people who was living in caves for who knows how long. You know, so when they come out of these caves, now they got their stuff together after Rome fell, and now they all linked up, and they fighting, or they not just fighting, but they're uniting under this whatever banner they're uniting up under. They coming to, you know, to conquer. That's their thing. They know nothing else at this point. Ever since they came out of there, that's what they do. It is what it is. You can't.
We need these resources. We're gonna go take it.
Yeah,
you know
we got to. And I remember one night I was up. It was late, a couple years ago, watching a documentary, and it was these scholars from all these major places in the world. Some of them from UNESCO, all of this stuff. They said that if the Europeans would not have came to the New World or whatever, they said they would have been dead in 400 years, because they depleted themselves from resources. You know, wood, timber. They killed off most of their game. You know, so it was bad. Remember, they just came through a situation with the plague and all of that. A lot of stuff wasn't really rocking out for them. They couldn't really move and shake like that. So they had to get up out of there. So that was one of the reasons why they got up out of there. They had to do what they had to do.
The whole purpose of them coming over here was for the resources.
Yeah,
it wasn't to set up shop and stay.
Nah, they wanted the resources.
They wanted to come and get trees and all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And free labor. So when they saw like, they sent word back, this shit is lit over there. It's lit over there. Word.
Man, we could do this.
We could do this over there. Yeah, so that's when we had dudes coming over here starting their own situation.
Yeah.
That's what this whole thing with the England and America thing. The dudes who came over here, they was like, yo, we want to start our own shit. But y'all want to tax us on everything? Nah, we can't do that, man. You know, we got our own free labor over here. We got this. We got people who are indentured servitude from Europe. We got it popping over here. What we need y'all for? So they bucked the system and they banged out with them. That's all that happened.
That'd be the revolution?
Yeah. So now you got that going on. You know, then they still, at the end of the day, 1776, but you still had, people of African descent in bondage, people of indigenous American descent in bondage, people of certain European groups who came over here with them, who were indentured servants. That's that too. So it's all it is. That's basically how it was.
And see, like, this conversation goes to the conversation where I asked y'all earlier, as far as are y'all flat earthers?
Oh.
Alright? Because with the talk of the Anunnaki, there is a select set of people that believes that there's a ice wall that's on the other side of Antarctica, or at Antarctica, and on the other side of it is a whole different world.
Yeah.
And so the aliens or whatever don't really come from outer space. They just come from on the other side of that wall.
They could be civilizations that was here way before that. So, but you can't say it ain't, because you got a narrative. like you said earlier, it's a narrative that we're going to stick to that. So if it's so, they can't talk about that. You know, they can't talk about that. They can't talk about that those pyramids are maybe 1 million years old or whatever. They can't talk about that. You know, because it kind of disrupt the narrative. You know, if the truth comes out, oh, this is what's happening, or whatever it may be. You know, that you may have, Africans navigating the globe thousands of years before Columbus or whoever. You know, there's a lot of trading going on way before all of that. People was doing whatever with the Moors or whoever. There was a lot of trading. You know, you want something, I gotta go over here. They got that over there, so we're gonna get on the boat and go over there. If we ain't gonna go over there and trade it, we're gonna take it from them. You know, so we don't know. I mean, that's something that is scary to think that, like, yo, so like you mean you're gonna suppress this information and knowledge just to perpetuate a myth of a narrative that ain't even true.
Yeah, because it's safer.
Yeah, it's safer.
It's safer to keep things going the way it is instead of like I always say, it's the same way you treat your household. Your kids grow up in your household.
Mm-hmm.
You create the world that your kids see.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a real world
beyond that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's two worlds that your kids got to learn about.
Absolutely.
The world you created for them and the world that's outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
What we're talking about is the world that they have created for us to see.
Yeah.
But there is another world that's outside of that.
Like not to be, it would be like homie said. It's like, they created a matrix. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like that. It's fictitious, and it's like you telling a kid, like when I was a kid, I remember the greatest thing to me was knowing that Santa Claus was coming on Christmas. But I was a very inquisitive kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a very nosy kid. My grandmother and my great grandmother used to say, you know what? You love to plunder.
Mm-hmm.
You love to plunder, because I would be in closets, this fucking with shit. I like to see something that was old, like when y'all had this and all this old. You wasn't even born when that would excite me, but it was intriguing to me. So one day, maybe a week before Christmas, whatever it was, I would go into one of my plundering expeditions, go through the closets. Lo and behold, I find
Christmas
presents. What I wanted for Christmas, a Kiss guitar, right? Gene Simmons on that shit. And it was a contraption or a toy called a baseball kid, right? The baseball kid, what he did, he threw you pitches, right? It was an electronic thing. He threw you pitches. I remember that. My mom's got me that for Christmas. Some walkie-talkies and the Mark and Mindy toy set. You know who Mark and Mindy is. Y'all may be too young for that.
Yeah, I remember
Larry. I'm about to say Larry probably.
Nanu.
Yeah, Robin.
First
Robin
alien.
Williams.
He was an alien.
Yeah, Robin Williams.
Yeah, it was a wild, right? Yeah, and I remember I had that. I never forget that. I found all of that, right? Got my ass whooped for it, but they could not untruth the truth no more. It was already out. The cat was already out the bag.
So you put two and two together.
Yeah,
Santa Claus
you can't play with me. Not only that, I lived in the projects where we had incinerator, right? So I asked my grandmother, I'm very asking all these questions. How Santa Claus gonna come down the incinerator? We didn't have no chimney. We had an incinerator, and it's burning and all of that. Oh, don't worry, he got something for that. But now this is like 79, 80, right? New York City is infested with junkies, heroin addicts, and niggas that smoke angel dust and stuff like that. They used to hang around the roof. So I'm like, well, what can he do on the roof versus the junkies and the angel dust addicts? They didn't have an answer for that. That's when I knew it was some shit in the water. You gave me an answer for everything else, but you couldn't give me an answer for the junkies and the angel dust addicts that's on the roof, smoking and doing what they doing, gnawing and all that. Because I'm like, if can he park his sled there? They gonna take that. They coming for that.
Man, riding around.
Yeah. Come on, they stealing cabs. Police running the building, they steal a police car. You know what I mean? Come on, they coming for that. So they couldn't give me an answer for that. When they couldn't give me an answer for that, I knew that something. That's when I started to look for truth right then and there. That, and one day I went to church and I was like, damn, this is during the crack epidemic, right? Crackheads all over the place. It's going wild. Everybody praying and this and all this stuff like that. And they couldn't, there was no answer for that. How do, it just didn't make sense. Like, they doing all this stuff, and half of these people who were in the church, their children were drug abusers who got turned out over something that, it was a derivative of cocaine, crack, or whatever it was. They didn't really know what it was. But half of their children was nutso over it. They doing whatever they stealing, they doing this, whatever they doing. They did not have an answer for that. When I saw that, how they was about that particular thing, I said, this shit, it can't be real.
Somebody lying.
None of this could be real. If they was frightened by that. If you so believe in this particular thing, whatever it is you believe in it, but you ain't got an answer for that.
That reminds me of when I was a kid, and my Uncle Ernest used to come down from Delaware.
Okay.
Right? So he'd come down like maybe once or twice a year. They'd do like revivals and stuff like that. He was a big time deacon in the church and stuff like that. Every time, like, they'd be like, hey, Ernest just got here or whatever. Oh, I love talking to Uncle Ernest. You know what I'm saying? I'm a kid. I go in there, and of course, first I want money. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna give me $5 or $10 or whatever. But I'll sit and talk to Ernest all day about the Bible. 1,000,001 questions, right? There would be a lot of questions I would ask, and it would be like, well, you ain't supposed to question God, right?
We gotta have faith.
Yeah.
You gotta have faith.
I
You
heard
ain't
that
supposed to question God. As I've gotten older and I've been doing my own research and my own readings and stuff like that, I realized why you're not supposed to question God. Because there is no answer for the questions that you're asking.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? There's no answer that a person can give.
Nah, it's impossible.
Because they don't even know.
No.
That's how I feel about that situation.
So
Indeed. It's impossible to question that. Like, it's just like, okay, if you want to equate God, they say it's, all I-seeing, omnipotent, whatever, right? So you honestly, it's just like, for instance, he's a high, God, the being itself is a higher life form, bro. If it's a higher life form, it's just like an ant trying to communicate with you. You a higher life form. You just an ant. That's an ant down there. It ain't nothing with the ant. You don't know what, you don't give a damn about that shit right there. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's just looking at it from that perspective. If this is a higher life form, whatever religious doctrine you subscribe to, this is a higher life form. And it's everything is everything is God or whatever it's supposed to be, right? It's just the same way. It's like an ant trying to communicate with you, bro. What sense does it make? You know what I mean? You may have some form of benevolence for that ant, like I ain't gonna kill him. Or a spider, you gonna let it go outside. I ain't gonna whack him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Gotta
saying?
go.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, in a sense, it would be like that, but it's just that, from a spiritual form or essence or whatever, you may communicate with those things. You may have other intermediaries, like spirits or whatever, ancestors or something, blah, blah, blah. But from just being in this, no, it's the same way. That ant, but
you just put that in a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
Because what if that ant prays to you?
Yeah, you don't know. You could be God to him. You don't know. Who knows?
I be feeding my ants outside.
Yeah.
I might be a god then.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, go feed dog, get him about 2 little pebbles off the dog foot. That feed the
Yeah, we
whole
don't
colony.
know. So, I mean, but from like I said, I don't really subscribe to that. That, like, since I was young, like, I'm like, I kind of, dabble with, with my ancestors a little bit. I try to, help. I try to help them help me. They keep my doors open where I can keep getting good blessings and all of that. Like I said, I'm gonna go back to Brother Obar. He kind of opened that realm up for me to see that. He wrote a book. You know what I mean? That pretty much helped me out. And I started reading the book and going through it and like, okay, I see what this is. This is more spiritualism, than doctrine. You know what I mean? So, more so than anything. And I gotta shout him out again. You know what I mean? So
and see, like, people got to realize there's a big difference between spiritualism and doctrine.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely, brother.
like that. We've all been indoctrinated, and
Absolutely.
I don't think that people understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you come out and you're 1, 2, 3 years old, and you're getting to where you can learn to talk and understand what people saying, you're told then what to believe in.
Yeah, once you start to turn, I'm gonna give you another one. Not to cut.
Forced to.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna
you didn't stumble across that yourself.
I want to know what happened to me when I die.
I'm gonna tell you. When I was about 10 years old, I started worrying about death. What happens? Like, you know, my grandmother had brothers that was dying, and I'm like, damn, what's gonna happen to him when he go? That's the first time I ever started thinking about death. But like, okay, here's another one. Like, when you 2 years old, what is God to you? Who's God?
My mom and dad.
Your mama.
Mama and daddy.
No, not your father. Your mother. When you come out, your mother, she the one that feeds you, all of that stuff. Don't be breastfed. If you breastfed, that's God. Whatever feeds you. You know what I mean? That's God. At the end of the day, you don't know nothing about no doctrine or none of that bullshit, whatever. You know, no disrespect to it, but you don't know none of that. But that's what God is. Like, that warmth, being protected, being fed, that sort of thing. That's what God is. Then your father may come into play because he, whatever. But your mother itself is God. Because you're coming out of, that's all you know until you get whatever else, like you said, the other doctrines that may take place, that may come into you or may corrupt you, or either give you a better seeing, or you might be guided to something different. But at some point, that's what God is from the beginning. Like, like real. I mean, that's now looking at it from that. But getting back to what I said earlier, is God is too. It would be too big for anybody to understand it. That's why when these dudes preachers be saying this, oh, God said to tell me. Hey, why he ain't tell me then? Who you? I mean, but they always say, well, I'm anointed and all of this shit like that. Okay then, but it don't. He could have told me too. You know what I mean? But so it don't. I don't get that part of it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm right.
Nah, it's like that. I don't know. You call it a folk tale or whatever, but they said that the Native Americans, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Native Americans was here, and they talk about like who they worship or whatnot. And so when the Europeans came, they built the church, right? And so it was like, man, we built you a building so that you can worship God and this and that, this and that. The Native Americans burnt it down.
I know why.
And they said,
how God could fit in that.
How can my God fit in that?
Yeah, because my God is everywhere.
Everywhere. Like, he can't fit in that. Like, yeah. I don't give a damn how big the building is.
Yeah.
He can't fit in there. You know what I'm saying? Because he's everywhere. He's everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you in God, like they say.
So, like, and I'm gonna bring it back around to when I asked the question about the Anunnaki. All right.
Okay.
All right. All of this that we just talked about. The Anunnaki, if that is true, I don't think they care about. I don't think it's. If that's true, I don't think it's about caring about us.
Not per se,
as people.
They're not really benevolent at all.
I think they're caring about
the goal.
Earth.
The goal itself, was producing it.
It's Earth, though.
Yeah,
they're caring about Earth.
Yeah,
like you don't hear about the first alien or the first UFO that is on record for modern times.
It was Eisenhower.
Yeah, after the atomic bomb.
Yeah, because he was like, "What y'all doing down there? Y'all gonna tear this shit up?" Yeah, I remember reading that. They said something to the effect of, "What the hell?" They contacted them. They said that was the first, what they call that, FaceTime call ever in the world. They gave them a device. They gave Russia a device. They gave all of them. So yo, what y'all doing now? What y'all doing? Y'all trying to tear this thing up? That's why I haven't really been on major situations since then. I'm pretty sure it probably would have been some, but like that's probably what it is. And like when you was getting to when you talk about the thing like from earlier, we were dealing with the gold situation and all that, right? They needed to fix their atmosphere, what have you. if you look at it from a point whereas that's the reason why gold is the most valuable thing on this planet, because it's something that is valuable to them.
Possible.
Yeah, you know, I would think it would be things that sustain you, like water, like food, or whatever it may be. You know, should be. But like, you know, even though we know gold is malleable, you can bend it, you can do whatever. It doesn't expire, none of that type of thing. You can have a piece of gold from 10,000 years ago, it's still gonna weigh the same. I understand all of that, but like, is it, you know, because the powers that be think that it is valuable to those people?
Yeah, because you know our currency is no longer backed by gold.
Yeah, it been off since the 30s, right?
So
then Nixon he put the stake and the knife in it. It's over with.
So like being that the currency is backed by something different.
It's backed by an idea.
Yeah,
it's backed by gangster shit,
bruh. Like
yeah, you gonna sell us. Y'all gonna buy this and y'all gonna put like this. We gonna buy this oil, but it's gonna be in dollars.
Yeah.
Or it's not backed by nothing. Yo, listen, you want us to blow this shit up? It's muscle. You know, basically that's what it is. Like,
man, they broke down something today. Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is worth $330 billion, right? On paper. Because when he worked the deal with the car company, or when he got the backing for the car company, Tesla, he didn't want to get paid in a salary. He wanted to get paid in stock options. So even at the time when the first inception of Tesla, the car company, the stocks might have been worth $6, right? A share. They gave him millions of $6 shares, right? As soon as it went from being worth $6 to $7, he became an instant quadruple millionaire, right? Now Tesla stock is worth...
It's plummeting, right?
I mean, it went up to... At one point in time, it was worth like $1,400 a share. At one point in time. Because I had stock when it was like $1,400, $2,000, something like that. I sold that stock, so I'm not really sure what it is. But even if it went from the $7 to $100, this man is a billionaire. You get what I'm saying?
I got it.
So like, okay... Now, how does a person who's worth $330 billion not have any money? Because he don't have actual funds. He goes to a bank. Because of his portfolio of stocks that's worth $330 billion, what bank is not going to give him a loan?
Yeah, it's true.
All right? The bank gives him a loan, $10 million, $100 million, whatever. Because they know he's worth, on paper, $330 billion. What is the purpose for doing all of this to avoid ever getting it in cash? What's the purpose of it? To avoid taxes. You never have to pay a dime of taxes because you never truly received it.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's smart.
Bruh, that's smart as hell. Like, that's the cheat code.
Who taught him that?
Exactly. So the government can raise taxes all they want to. Those people that know that never will have to pay it because they ain't truly getting it. We worry about money phones. We got a stack of money.
That don't mean nothing.
That don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's useless.
It's useless. This man is worth $330 billion. You know what I'm saying? But it's on paper. But because it's on paper, man, banks is willing to roll out the red carpet for him.
Wow.
Because they know that the influence is there.
Yeah.
His credit score is.
You don't have one.
It's probably gonna be lower than yours.
Yeah, but
like just being real, like it's probably lower than yours.
Yeah, it's just the fact of who he is. Like you said, it's his influence and all of that. Everybody want to piggyback off him. He know how to make money, so they could care less. You know what I mean? His credit rating is something else. He's part of something. He's in a total different bracket. Like, you know what I mean? He's a man who probably got like a yacht that's worth $600 million or something.
I don't even think so. Like the dude stays, like he was staying in a tiny house.
Yeah. On
the Tesla parking lot. Like at the Tesla, whatever that building is.
The
main office.
That's probably what you see, but you go in there, push your button, and go downstairs. Totally different thing.
I mean, it could be, but they said the man had a little tiny house. He was staying at the facility.
I heard he was on their neck too.
Is he American?
No, he's South African.
Yeah, South Africa. So he's really will his kids be African American?
Hey, oh shit. Oh shit. You right. They would be considered African American on paper, but what they look like, no, they not Africans. You know what I mean? They're European African Americans, whatever you want to call them.
So they wouldn't get the N-word pass.
Nah.
You got to give it to him.
So Elon come call you an N-word.
No, well, yeah,
He can't.
Cool.
He's not one of us.
he gotta be accepted, man.
Oh, hell no.
He's African. He's
Nah.
African American.
But the nigga, the word nigga
Is
itself.
nigga American word?
Yeah, that's something that a nigga is okay. Okay, like you could, like people who are from Nigeria and all them places like that, they not niggas. They not niggas.
They don't even call us niggas.
They don't call. They some of them do.
Black American.
Black American, but they are not niggas. Niggas is something that is an amalgamation of people who came here on the slave trade, right? Whether they got full African ancestry, whether they got white mixed with black ancestry, Native American, whatever you want to call it, Asian ancestry. In under this United States flag, you came through those rigors and you came through everything that was considered to be, you know, of slavery or oppression. Those are niggas. If you just came here in 1975 from wherever you came from, or 1992 from Nigeria, you are not a nigga. You of African descent. But you're not a, no, you know, you may subscribe to the nigga lifestyle. You know what I mean? But you know, you ain't no nigga. No, you not. No, it's a difference.
All right. So if that's your breakdown of that, what about the 1955 Negro?
Okay, the Negro, those was niggas too. But you gotta look at it. I mean, I'm being real. Like back then, okay, because every so many years it changes to something different. I grew up in a household, right, where I had a great grandmother who lived in my household too, right, who was born in 1899, right. And I remember we used to watch TV, and she used to be like, "Cut the TV on, so we could watch the two colored boys," right. Mm-hmm. We didn't use that term outside. What she talking about? We use black, right? But colored came before Negro, right? So she come from the term when they was colored, then it was Negro, then it was black, then it's African American. Those are just terms that the government or the powers that be, the bourgeoisie, who they may feel is acceptable for us at that time. Like, you know, right now we're African Americans, but ain't there one of us been to Africa? My grandparents ain't never been to Africa. We are descendants of Africans. Let's make it clear. But we are, you know, we are Americans.
Do we truly know that? That we're descendants of
We don't know. Some of us, I mean, a lot of us got Native American ancestry in us.
Because I always, like I go along with it, and I ain't trying to be funny, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I go along with the calling myself black and Native American.
Yeah.
Not Native American, but African American.
Mm-hmm.
But my great-grandmother, my grandma's mom, is truly Native American.
Yeah, like my grandmother's moms and all of that, they came from Louisiana somewhere. They came up this way by way of my understanding. It was like a major flood back in the teens or whatever.
It pushed them this way.
Yeah, because this way it was jinking at. The cotton fields was booming out this way.
So would they be considered as Native American?
I mean, she got Native. I mean, they got Native American probably in a background, but you gotta, okay, damn, that's a very, not that, I mean, so I don't want to step on no toes or no shit like that, right? You got a lot of people who got that, those who are descended from that, right? But I can't full-fledged say that, I am a Native American, you know, and deny my African ancestry, you know. So it is impossible for me to do that. You could physically see it. But I do know that when I go up into places like Pembroke and Maxton and places like that, it's people who are considered Native Americans who are darker than me, right? Who are darker than us. You know what I mean? They got a little bit of wavy hair. You know what I mean? But they darker than us. And they are considered to be Native Americans. For whatever reason, they belong to certain tribes up there. You know, I can't name them all offhand. You know, or you know, So like, we really don't know. I think it was a mixture altogether. You know, you had some that looked like us here. You know, probably was here before they brought slaves here. I'm pretty sure of that. But I can't subscribe to the idea that we all like this idea they saying, oh, there was what happened to the slave ships and all of that, this, that, and the third. I mean, come on, it was that was commerce. That was the way those people who brought the slaves over here, they got money. It's just like if you got a truck and you doing trucking and you got a specific type of commodity, whatever it may be. It could be beans, horses, cattle. It could be anything. They looked at you as cattle, first of all. So when they bringing you over here, so 100 years from now, I'm gonna tell you what the name of that truck is. I don't know. I could care less. It just brought the horses over, or whatever it brought over here. So these people, this is their new thing where they saying, oh well, we all was here already. It's a possibility, but give me some proof.
Nah, I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the way I've dived into this, whatever, you might have. I'm just gonna make it simple. You got 2 or 3 ships, right? The 2 or 3 ships, they got manifests. The manifest is at the Library of Congress, whatever.
Yeah.
Or National Library, whatever it is, in D.C. All right, on those ships, you got 45 people came over as far as cargo. And it's on per ship. All right, how many trips did each one of them ships take for how many years for it to wind up being 2 million of us?
Okay, that's a good question. But here's the thing, though. Okay, you got this is what I read. Like, okay, this is how it goes, right? You had those were cargo companies, right? Mm-hmm. So say like if you have a company from Portugal, right? You may got 30 to 50 companies from Portugal who transport slaves from Africa into the New World. You may got companies from Spain doing the same thing, England, whatever, right? So like you said, it may be how many times they may have 30 people on the manifest or 90, whatever. Those what they have on the manifest are what came after probably 1776, right? Because it's in the Library of Congress. So what happens that predate that, where you have Africans coming to Brazil, Cuba, Jamaica, here in the United States, when the Spanish, before the English was bringing African slaves here before 1619, that's the date they want to say where it all started. I beg to differ. It was before that. So you had Spanish bringing slaves here. You had the Dutch bringing slaves here. You had Portuguese bringing here in the United States. That is undocumented. That we just like we got undocumented Mexicans over here, undocumented people from wherever. It was the same thing. They was undocumented. So then when 1776 came, now you gotta have this, blah blah blah. Yeah, you gotta have all of this now. Well, before that, it was probably 3 million black people over here before that. You know, that was undocumented who came through here via Spain, French. Remember, Louisiana was a purchase from Napoleon because he got broke because he was fighting wars on 3 different fronts. He was fighting whoever he was fighting in North Africa. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, the Toussaint Overture, was beating the shit out of him down there in Haiti. So he told the United States, you know what, I sell y'all this part of the country, right? Which they taught me this. I was in 3rd grade. It's called Louisiana Purchase, where it was Louisiana, Missouri, all the way up to what? Chicago, maybe Illinois, Minnesota. All of that that belonged to the French. You know what I mean? That was the French colonies sold it to us. They all had slaves already up there working, doing their thing. You know what I mean? So down in New Orleans, you know, it's that city is one of the oldest. I think New Orleans and Charleston around the same age. New Orleans may be older than Charleston.
And see, I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, no. I'm not for the sake of argument. It's just
like also, okay, with what you just said, Do you remember the fire at the census place in what it was like 1920 or whatever?
I heard about it.
Okay, the census was they had the census going on, so like they'll do the census. Before the fire, they said it was. I'm just gonna throw a number out there. I'm not for sure about the number.
Yeah.
There was 2 million Native Americans before the census. Well, before the fire.
Wow.
After the fire, the new records, there was 500,000.
That's ridiculous.
So what happened to the 1.5?
They turned them black.
Like
that's what happened. That's part of the reason. I mean, they kind of like, you know, what they. If you ever like go into it, like years ago, I had a friend that was of one of those tribes up there in Robeson County. They was Lumbee or something like that. Very dark skinned. Me and him got cool. We used to kick it and drink and all that. Went to his crib one time. They had a cookout. We used to all hang out, and he was in the historical aspect of their tribe came into play, and he was like at one point in time, they was considered to be what's the word they said it was, free people of color, meaning they didn't really consider them to be Native Americans or black. They was kind of what they considered to be free people of color. You know what I mean? Because now the narrative had to change because, like, you know, it's a thing where now they showing pictures of what these people look like. And they dark, most of them are dark skinned people. So then Hollywood is coming into play. They making them look whiter and all this. So, but they were very dark skinned people. We that we know. You know, but you know, it's just something just to think about.
Like the shit is a deep ass conversation.
Well, yeah, we could be up to the next millennium because it's real. Like, and that's true. Like they a lot of those people, they turned them into Africans. They might have put them on plantations. They look just like the niggas in the field. Put them beside them. I sell you 20 of them. Where they come from? We got them up by Ohio. Yeah, they all the way in South Carolina. So they mixed. You beside them. They didn't come here on the boat. They was here already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Beside the ones who they look just like the ones who they got off a boat. They hair just a little bit longer and, you know, thinner and stuff like that. But they got this. They look the same. You know what I mean? So now you start to blend in with them, and people be like, "Oh, well, I got Indian in my family." You are the Indian. You know what I mean? They ain't just in your family. You are that, but you are the African as well. And this, despite, you know, how you feel about it, how anybody feel about it, you got European blood in you too. Let's make it clear. You know, a lot of us got European blood in us. It is what it is.
Well, niggas gonna go crazy when they hear you.
Yeah, I could care less. But it's the truth. It's the truth. But everybody who light skin want to say, "Oh, that's from the Indian side." But what if your Indian side was blacker than, you know, something else? That's European blood in you. Whether it came through by rape, or you might have had an indentured servant from Ireland working beside your great grandmother. You know what I mean? In the fields with them. He got to work this off because he owed whatever he owed. He just got out the penitentiary. The only way he gonna get that off, he got to work that off.
Like, this gonna sound real insensitive. What if your great grandma was a hoe?
God damn. God damn.
That sounds like something I would ask.
She was selling that thing, right? But goddamn, who was a pimp?
The owner?
Yeah.
She was just
She was
giving
just
it
for
away.
breeding purposes.
She was giving it away. You know what I'm saying?
That shit is ridiculous. I don't even want to think about that. That shit is ridiculous.
Who am I? Who am I?
Yeah, who am I? I'm the product of hoeing. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, but it's possible. We don't know. You know, but it's one of those things where, like, yo, like, when you dive in it,
the oldest business.
what's the name of this?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the oldest profession in the world. I forgot the name of this movie. It's called I think
Players Club.
No, not a movie. It's like a docu movie. It came out in the 70s. I got the DVD somewhere in my crib somewhere. If I find it, it might be in my storage. It's called Goodbye Uncle Tom. When you see that shit gonna have you messed up, bro. Because it's like as if it's like it was filmed in the 70s. It was, to be honest with you, it was they couldn't bring it. United States banned it for a long time, but sometime like in the late 80s it got over here. But like it was filmed in the 70s. But it's like as if you had a film crew in the slave trade. So they interviewing them, different math. Yo, what's going on? You know, like how AI do nowadays. It was like yeah, you know, I got about 20 bucks over here. They strong bucks and all of that. We're gonna turn them loose in this goddamn, in this barn. We got 100 winches in there. We're gonna lock them in there with about 3 quarts of brandy and see what they could do. Yeah, so they take 20 dudes, put them in there with 100 broads who of childbearing age, and just lock them in there. And they gonna do their thing, whether they take it or they give it to them, you know, whatever. They finesse them, you know, however it could go. But that's
like a stinking orgy.
Yeah, but it was a breeding thing, bro.
A freak off.
A freak off. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, probably with that in.
Yeah, ain't no telling he from that. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what they was doing. Against these female will, and even some of the dudes, they was probably tired. He might have got a wife on the plantation, but they mastered him, got him busting up no trees and nothing. He did because he creating good offspring for them to sell for the purposes of them to whatever they need to do. You know what I'm saying? My bad.
Yeah.
But that's basically what that is. So
I treat them like dogs.
yeah, you was no different how we breed a pit bull. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I got a blue nose. Yo, he hit hard, or red nose. Yo, let me see what the parents look like. So you looking at the parents like, damn, yo, I gotta get me one off of that. Yo, it's the same thing. So they bring you, okay, homie, he got a back this big, he's strong. You know what I'm saying? He run through the field, do her thing. What's the movie 12 Years a Slave?
Yeah.
When he talk about that girl, what's the black slave name? Her name is whatever her name is. He says she's a nigga among niggas, meaning he would do anything to have another one like her, cause she's picking more cotton than anybody. Forgot whatever her name was. Lupio Fiango plays that role in it, right? And he's like, he got this infinity for her. He got this lust for her, but it ain't just sexual. It's just the fact that, you know, he got this machine.
Yeah, she a go-getter.
She go-getter. She get busy. She out there in the field picking twice as much as 2 men together. You know what I mean? Like, yo, he said, yo, she's a nigga among niggas. Are you serious? That's what they was doing to you. They created you from that. You come from that. So they might say, okay, we're going to get 10 of them, 20 guys. They all strong. They can run good. They can do this, that, and the third. So you might go to all these masters on different plantations and say, yo, listen, what's up? I'm trying to get, what you want to do? You want to create some? Yeah, I got a winch that's for you. She like 16.
Right.
I got one that's 12 who just had a period.
Bro, you don't even realize what you just broke down.
It's NFL shit.
Yes, but that means
It's NFL
yo great whatever
Yeah.
might have been the best
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he could have been the best field slave or whatever. The great grandmother could have been the best whatever. You know what I mean? So they put them together because we need that. We're trying to produce like 8 or 9 kids from her. You know.
So do you think with that being broken down, are we disappointing our ancestors?
Yeah.
In what ways we talking about? By
Like-
not having offspring or what?
Work ethics.
Work ethic, life. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, because they was in they paradigm and they whatever the sphere they was in. We in something totally different. You know, crack cocaine didn't exist to them. You know, black on black crime really didn't exist to them. COINTELPRO, you know, living in the projects, all that shit. That even though we was free, they still kept something on our back to keep you from advancing, from you to really move and shake. The ones who they let move and shake, they snub their nose up at you. You know what I mean? Like, man, listen.
And then they caused the divide.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yard boy.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? House nigga.
House nigga.
Or Uncle Tom.
Uncle Tom's
or
and all that,
whatever.
yeah.
And like I heard an old saying or old quote when they say Martin Luther King said it when he was like they wanted you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but
They could put a goddamn weight on your back.
not even that. How can you tell that to a man with no boots?
God damn. You right about that. That's real talk.
So I'm saying like
It's impossible.
it's impossible. Like the uphill battle that you have to climb is impossible, and they sit back and it's like, y'all excited about that? Y'all excited about that? that accomplishment,
Mm-hmm.
we've been doing this since the 1800s.
Yeah, it's what we do,
You know
brother.
what I'm saying? But 2025, y'all are excited about this.
And holding money to your ear like this. You understand?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Why, you know, it is like why your brother's starving or this is going on, and you know it doesn't make sense to them. Like, you know, where they was about, you know, just think of that. Like, it's something that is heartening in a sense. Be like, damn, like, you know, I used to think about that a lot. Like, damn, like them slaves that was in the field and all of that. You know, how do they look at me now? At this point in time, am I where I'm supposed to be, or are they proud of me? Because I don't think any of them wanted to be assimilated into this society at all.
No.
Let's make that clear.
No.
You know, just think of this. You got slaves just coming off a boat from Africa. You think they wanted to be part of this system? They bucked it. They fought. All of that, all of whatever that may be. So, you know, so on my altar, I like to consult with those guys too. You know, how they feel about this. Like, what am I need to do? You know, so you know me. I always got a revolutionary spirit. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So so I think that's them. You know, in me, like saying like, yo, you know, buck the system, but don't buck it too hard. Where you're gonna end up in change. You still need to do what you need to do for what you need to do it for. But it's brutal. That's something to think about. Do they feel like, okay, that we got that, we like, damn, y'all niggas, God damn, y'all laid down for that? Oh man,
We would have never
did that. Are you crazy? But then there's some niggas who in a position where they like, yo, you know, they what they call living their best life and they up and whatever. Do they, you know, how do they look at it? You know what I mean?
So their ancestors, like if they up, their ancestors could be looking at them like yeah, you up, but you still disappointed us.
It's important. It's a possibility. It's probably some of them like happy for you, but I mean like I said, when you do your best, whatever it may be, they proud of you, regardless of what. You know what I mean? You do, especially if you're creating something that, but they trying to eradicate so much. When you're creating a family, you know, they trying to make sure that don't happen. Like, you know, that's the key to everything. Every other ethnic group, you know, that come here has a family unit, right? We ain't really, they dissolved that shit a long time ago. Whether it is, if it's your kids that you have from your own loin, or kids you take care of, or whatever it may be, they trying to eradicate that. They don't want it to be that way. The family unit is the thing that is an endangered species. When I was a kid, they used to say the black man is an endangered species. I hear that shit all the time. You know, like, wow, you know. But now in this day and time, it's the black family, bro. You know, not just that, but where the black male is the head of the household, and he's able to move and shape to put his family in a better position where they can prosper. You know, we can do it as a unit, so be it. But you know, we know how this thing is rigged nowadays. Like, they making it look like we bums and bozos. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you think about the women that feels like, I just seen a video the other day where traditionally the man is the head of the household.
Yeah.
The woman had a video and she was like, she put her man down on purpose so that he, I don't know, it's kind of like you're trying to diminish him to keep him from being the confident man that's standing out front. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why would you do that?
She's a piece of shit. I mean, I'm just saying, like, for her to do that to a man in this day and time, if he got some zeal about him, you know, and you know he feel confident, she might do that so no other broad don't want him. That it could be that too. She just that stuck on herself, or you know. But it's mainly a lot of times it be that too. You know,
should make him go harder too. Though.
Yeah, it could be that too. She might be. That make, you know, she might do that to make him, like you said, to go hard. Reverse psychology. Yeah. It could be that as well. But I'm just saying, like, you know, now in this day and time, you don't do that to no man if he up and he trying to get it together for y'all. There's a difference when he's selfish and he just want it for himself. You know, he want to, you know, be in these broads' faces and all this shit like that. Yeah, I understand that. You want to take him down a little notch. But if he's doing what he's doing for the purposes of making sure the situation with y'all is going to prosper, I don't think you should do that to a man. You know what I mean? Like, that's, or anybody. Or if I'm a man and I, you know, I got a girl who may be on it like that.
Yeah,
she
don't
might
do
be,
that to her either.
don't do that to her, or anybody, or a child. You know what I mean? Some people, I see a lot of people who jealous of their kids nowadays because they moving and shaking a certain kind of way because they passing them. I thought that's what it was all about. When you have a child, you want your child to go further than you ever went. I thought that's what it was about anyway.
All right. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I feel that you will have a great answer for this. Do you want your child to struggle?
No.
Do you want your child to struggle?
I don't want to pave the road for him either. But
I feel they need to struggle.
At some point, like I said, I don't want to pave the road for them. I don't want them to go through the same rigors that I went through. No, like, you know, if I can give them a cheat code on like, yo, this is what this is, this is what that is. Yeah, but everybody need to bump their head to put them in place every now and again. Yeah, you got to nurse a knot every now and again.
So you want to be the safety net for them, but you don't want them to use the safety net.
Well, okay, that's a good question. I want them the safety net is like the last resort, not when it first get, you know, everything getting funky for you, and you want to constantly press that button. Nah, you don't even know what you don't even know what you made of. See what you made of first. Then if all else and it come to this, then you press that along. You know, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, but I don't know with these kids nowadays. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm glad I came up in the time in which I came up in. You know, and it wasn't the best of times, but it wasn't the worst of times either. But it made it. I'm the last. I mean, put it like this. I'm the last generation that know what an 8-track is, and also know what one of these phones is, right? You know, I seen an 8-track before. I played one before.
What about you, Larry?
No, I never played it, but my cousin, we were cleaning out his house or whatever.
Yeah.
He had a whole bunch of damn 8-track tapes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I seen one in the Cadillac.
What's the old video game? Atari.
Atari, yeah.
It was 8-track tapes and Atari game.
Yeah, I remember that. See, I'm from that where it was 8 tracks. I remember seeing them. You know, I remember my grandfather used to be playing Nat King Cole on 8-track.
Is it 8-track or 8 track?
8
Yeah,
tracks.
8.
Yeah.
The number
What
8.
the 8 mean?
I don't remember what it
8
was.
bits, I think.
It could be. But I remember he used to be playing that on Sunday morning. Nat King Cole. Straighten up and fly right.
Could you fast forward and stuff then, or just?
I don't remember. I never touched it. I remember they used to play it. I never pulled up. By the time I started getting into like stuff like that, when I was able to do my own thing, you know, vinyl was way before 8-track. You know what I mean? So 8-track was the new thing, right? So then there was, I guess it was 8-track. You may have other things in between there. Then it was the cassette tapes. So by the time I was on my thing, it was cassette tapes. You know what I mean? Like, we used to buy the 90-minute Maxell tapes, you know, record whoever was on the radio, DJ Red Alert, Chuck Chill Out, whoever was popping, Stretching Bobito, whoever was lit. You know, we would record that, you know, make tapes of that, do our thing. But the 8-track, I don't know if you can record on it or not, but I remember I had an uncle, he had 8-track, he had an 8-track in his Cadillac many years ago. I never forget that. But I remember 8-tracks being in the crib, but I never owned an 8-track. My grandparents and them probably had that. I don't even think my mother owned an 8-track. I remember they had vinyl and stuff. My uncle,
my mama went straight from vinyl to cassette.
Exactly. Like my uncle right now, shout out to my Uncle Sylvester. He got a mean vinyl collection. I remember I used to sneak and get his records and all of that stuff he used to play, and I'd be like, damn, I could rhyme off of that. And I would take put it on the joint and all that on my little phonograph player.
And scratching them, was you?
No, I would take the break, or I would take the break beat, or whatever, like whatever I was trying to sample, so we could rhyme over it, and then play it, press record, and then pause it, and then bring it back. Might as well pause, unpause, bring it again. So we get about 5 or 6 minutes off of it. That was very low tech sampling in them days. We would rap off of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's low tech. You know, we didn't have none of that. Those things were out, but I couldn't afford that. You know what I mean? But that's how we used to do it. Whatever. You know, and it would be like whoever. And it would be 5, 4, 3 minutes of this particular part we wanted to, and we just be rapping over it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that kind of thing. That's when I got into like music back then.
So technically, you could have been Dr. Dre before Dr. Dre.
Maybe around the same time, because this is around 80. He was already doing his thing. NWA was already out. Wow, when we started doing this is around the time when, like, who was out? Maybe Tribe Called Quest, Jungle Brothers, who else? You know, LL Cool J had Walking with a Panther out. Who else probably was out at that time? Just Ice. You know, I remember those joints I used to buy, and they was vinyl. Back then, I used to buy vinyl and record it and put it on a cassette tape and give it to my friends. You know what I mean? Like that. So I would always buy the vinyl. Then I started buying the tapes. You know, because after a while, you know, like, you know, you had to go to the bigger record stores to buy vinyl. You know what I mean? Only the single would be in vinyl. Then, you know, but the tape would be in the regular record stores. You had to go like a big store, like Sam Goody, to get the vinyl, or some certain record stores might have had it. Beach Street, downtown Brooklyn back then, they might have had it, but the ones down the street, to get the album, you had to go to them. But like, yeah, you know, but yeah, that's who was back then was popping when I was doing it. You know, it was something about Tribe Called Quest. They had some fire. Who else? During that time, I was very infatuated with 1988, 89. Public Enemy. You just Chuck and Flav. Then the way to bounce, what they call them dudes. Hank Shockley and them did their production. It was so overlapped. When you hear their stuff, it's like it's so overlapped. So it may got 5 or 10 samples, you know, in one song. Now you couldn't do that. It's gonna be. Of course,
he was supposed to be a part of NWA. I mean, not NWA, but Public Enemy.
Yeah.
But he was battling with who was going to be the Flavor Flav.
Okay.
So like,
who's gonna be the hype man?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But Flavor Flav beat him out. You know what I'm saying? Because I forgot what he said the story was, but
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, he lost.
Flavor Flav played like 5 or 6 instruments though. You know,
I think that might have been what
it could have been. Four. But like back then, yeah, it was like that. Like I said it before, my religion is music by the way of the Church of Hip Hop. Like a lot of music I didn't get into until I started listening to hip hop. The stuff they played in my house, you know, my uncle played everything, you know, a lot of soul joints and, you know, Barbara Mason, and my pops was a Curtis Mayfield fan. You know, my mom's was into like the stuff like late disco stuff, like, you know, like Stephanie Mills, yeah, Teddy Pendergrass, all of that kind of stuff. My grandmother listened to something totally different, right? My grandfather listened to something totally different. He listened to stuff that was like, what could be considered like, they call big band music from the jazz era. You know, like Cab Calloway, what's this guy's name? I just named him. What's his name? Sings Unforgettable. Nat King Cole. Yeah. He played, that's the stuff, Forgettable. He played that kind of stuff. He was into that. You know what I mean? So, you know, during the time when hip hop came around, when I was real young, it was a song that used to come on. They played it. If you went outside, it was the #1 jam. It was called Love Is a Message. And I remember they would be outside in the park. They freestyling to this. If you ever get a chance, it's the long extended version. It's called Love Is a Message. First time I heard that freestyling, somebody getting busy, this 1978, 79. I'm bugging when I hear this, you know? Because the music in the house is different from this. But this is what my mom's and them listening to, though. This, you know, all of those guys. It was a group called, I think it was not Top Choice, something Choice. It was a girl group. They did a song called Dr. Love. That was a big deal. Like, that's the music I grew up with. I grew up with everything. You know, like I said, I touched everything.
See, all right, I got a question that it caused some controversy.
Go ahead, brother.
Because Arsenio. Alright, there's a list that came out about the top 10 R&B.
Wow.
Remember we was talking about that, right? Top 10
Groups?
R&B. 9 individuals. Alright. They got Stevie Wonder as the number 1 on the top 10 R&B guy or R&B list.
Okay.
I personally don't agree with that, simply because Stevie Wonder, I don't categorize him as R&B.
Yeah.
I categorize him as soul. Like, he would be in that soul category. Now, I understand the beginnings of R&B started with soul and blues.
Blues and all that, absolutely.
But the term R&B
In the modern era?
in the modern era, it was not even a thing until after Stevie Wonder then made a lot of his hits. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly is listed at number 4 on this list. So, what is your opinion on that? And they got Aretha Franklin and James Brown in that same list. But I just throw that in there.
No Usher and Chris Brown.
They're probably somewhere down at the bottom.
It wouldn't be top 10.
But
ain't top 10.
because they talking about history, right? And getting back to what you were saying, like, you know, in the beginning, you know, like, you know, R&B is a amalgamation of the blues and certain type of rock rhythms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if we're gonna get into R&B, the king and queen of R&B is Ike and Tina Turner. So we gonna get into it, right?
So you just diving straight in.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's what it is. So you want to get it's them, you know, Stevie Wonder. Yeah, I mean, if they gonna say he number 1, I can give him that, even from a modern era, because you know he hadn't did nothing recently. But I mean, where if you listen to the music, how it shifts, it started to shift around Stevie Wonder, the Motown Review, Ike and Tina Turner, whatever. When you hear the shift in the music, right? So whereas you may have, okay, James Brown, yeah, but James Brown, you could put him as, he could be top 5 in R&B, he could be top 5 in funk, he could be top 5 in rock, he could be top 5 in soul.
I always thought you'd call him Godfather of funk, right?
Funk, yeah.
Okay.
Now in some ways he created funk, like as what we know it is today. You know what I mean? So in the modern era, you know, it's people that predate him that come from the blues era that
John, don't hit them drums so hard.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, they say he was a slave driver. They say he was hell. You know what I mean? So you couldn't work for him. They say he was hell. I heard about it. I look at the documentaries how they be talking. They was like, man, he was different.
Hey, Jimmy, turn my mic down.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
He saying that shit on the song.
Yeah. So like, you know, but and James Brown is responsible for a lot of the samples that we got in hip hop early on. A lot of the PE stuff. A lot of, you know, I can go, you know, whoever. You know, he's responsible. But when it comes to R&B, I can give that to Stevie Wonder.
And R. Kelly number 4?
Yeah, I can give him that. Because I mean, like, R. Kelly had a good run, but like, you know, Stevie Wonder had a hell of a run. Long, like, far as R&B is concerned, right? And I think Stevie Wonder is a big influence. He's a big influence to R. Kelly. You know, he's one of probably who R. Kelly grew up listening to, and that's what a lot of times they take it into the content of who influenced this guy, right? So it would be him, you know, this person or whoever. So who else they got up there? Like
Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, that's R&B. That's R&B. That's not really. It's kind of soul, but it's R&B. R&B is very upbeat, versus soul is very toned down and, you know, got this, you know, different type of thing to it, right? You know, but they want to. What happens with us, like, you know, we grew up in the era where they want to put R&B and soul in the same bag. It's not really the same thing. Funk ain't even the same.
Because of this conversation,
yeah,
and I was interested to hear what your answer was, but because of this conversation, there was a person in the comments. They gave me hell about my answer.
Okay.
So I told them, I said, well, if you want Stevie Wonder to be number 1, then that means Gil Scott-Heron is the number 1 rapper of all time.
I can't say that.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I got you.
Like,
yeah. But
like, if you're gonna give Stevie that's just the way I feel. Then you got to give Gil Scott-Heron on the top 10
Rap
artist. You know what I'm saying? That's the dude that made
Living in the Bottle.
What's the J?
Gil Scott Heron is that dude. Like
Evolution. No, not
Revolution would be televised. But he had more stuff. Yeah, the Revolution would not be televised. Revolution would not be televised. Gil Scott.
I'm a radio play.
Yeah, you a radio guy?
I'm radio.
You ain't gonna hear no.
Yeah, you ain't gonna never hear stuff on it. But he's deceased now. You know, shout out to him. But he influenced a lot of people. You know, as far as in it, like he got a lot of stuff that I started listening to like 15, 20 years ago, and I was like, wow. Like he was lyrical. He was deep. You know, he had his own niche. You know, it was nobody really in the same lane as him, right? But okay, when they talking about these R&B groups, people, right? There was not a Stevie Wonder duplicate. You couldn't duplicate him, right? But they were R. Kelly duplicates and clones, and you know we know that, and Chris Brown clones, and then whoever else clones. They had Aretha Franklin clones a little bit, but there was never a Stevie Wonder clone. Nobody was as talented as this guy, a blind guy. You know.
I wasn't a fan of Stevie like that.
I mean, man, listen. I'm gonna listen to the songs in the Key of Life. That one album, and you can be like, oh shit, this shit is fire. You know what I mean? He had some good. I mean, I'm not gonna say Stevie Wonder made great music, and I could give him the king of R&B. I could say that in any era. I mean, proudly.
Stevie Wonder working in the grocery store. Now you got the music playing. They were playing Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Is it Sheila?
Yeah. Now I can go. He got some joints. I mean, he got some fire. He got a joint with the dude, the greatest jazz musician who created his own genre jazz, come from here. Y'all got a statue of him downtown.
Dizzy.
It should be bigger than that. In Cuba, Dizzy is like a god or something down there. I told you that before. When I went to Cuba, Dizzy like a god down there because he created, with people from there, they created a whole form of jazz. You know what I mean? Like it would be like if it's never really been done in hip hop like that. If you in trap, it would be like it's all of a sudden the person who created the trap music sound came from Chirac, you know, which would probably be, I guess, if it would be T.I. or whoever, you know what I mean? That's what Dizzy is to jazz. He is that. He is T.I. or NBA YoungBoy or whoever changed the paradigm of what it sound like, or 50 Cent. He is that in the jazz world. Which he is that in the jazz world.
Damn, the statue should be bigger.
It should be bigger than that. He is that. Or like when you go to Hamlet, they got the big John Coltrane thing on the side of the wall, but they should have a statue of him too. Like if he was, you know how over there they feel about sports and all of that. Okay, if he ran a football, or if he dunked a basketball or hit a baseball, he would have a statue. John Coltrane would be considered the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of jazz.
Did they call him or did they call him Coltrane?
Coltrane? Yeah, Coltrane.
That's like I heard of Coltrane.
Yeah, John Coltrane. Yeah. See, these are, the two people, big giants of a musical genre, both grew up 15 miles away from each other. You know what I mean? It would be like as if, you got
Jay-Z and Nas.
That's what they would be like. If you really want to put it in that perspective, John Coltrane would be Nas, and Dizzy would be Jay-Z. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Two giants. And they in that genre of music. That's who they are. They that big. They big. They like, real big. But it's like we don't give that form of respect that
because we don't listen to
we don't listen to it. But then again. Okay, was it a conversation? I heard somebody say something. It might have been on the internet about I forgot, but it just slipped my mind. But when you dealing with that, it is still our music, right? Like it's ours. It came from us. We still gotta keep that up. Like when they had the festivals here for him, I'll go down there. Tap my feet when they be having the live bands in there. You know what I mean? Because I know what he is. I know who he is. Like, now, getting back to that, one of Stevie's biggest hits was with him. Girl, do I do? Dun, dun, dun. You remember that? But I do. That's him and Dizzy. Because he announced him on the record. He said, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dizzy Gillespie, he come on with that horn.
Was that song remade by some group or something?
Yeah, a couple people made it.
See, I'm thinking
Ja Rule made it over. Ja Rule made it over.
Yeah.
That's Stevie Wonder joint and Dizzy Gillespie. So we don't. These people, him and Coltrane are giants in that world. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they from here. They should have a whole week for them. You know what I mean? Like, and it's sad, but that's just think like, you know, okay, whoever's popping now,
Damn, that's crazy.
40 years from now, you know, they may disrespect them the same way. You know, but that's the reality. Like, they are giants. They are like Jay-Z and Nas. Coltrane and Dizzy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
really? In that world?
Yeah, they really, because of how music is moving and what's popular is moving,
Yeah.
like they got lost
Yeah.
in the mix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it wasn't they couldn't market it no more like that. You know, it became, you know, smaller. I think they said what killed jazz, R&B killed jazz, right? So now you got something else you can market. Then you got rock, R&B. It became jazz became something of, it became that type of thing. It became smaller. So then by now time the 80s come, it's getting more smaller. Then the 2000s come, you know, who cares? Only way we gonna hear jazz if somebody sample it, like, oh, that shit is dope. Who did that? Where that sample come from? Then you start digging.
That's that Coltrane.
That's that Coltrane, or that's Dizzy, or, you know, that's Thelonious Monk or whoever. These guys are giants in that world. You know, like I said, I mean, they bigger than 50. They Jay-Z and Nas. You know what I mean? Really? And they keep it funky. Like, Quincy Jones is bigger than Dr. Dre in his world. Let's make this clear.
Yeah.
He's bigger than Dre. How we look at Dr. Dre, in that world of music, Quincy Jones is way bigger than him. Yes.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he bigger than him. Yeah. You know, he just died, recently, maybe a year ago?
A year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah, so, but they bigger than them. Like, but we only focus on what's in front of us. It's a whole to this. It's a bigger, the more you go out this way, you go here, you start here, you start going like this, and it get bigger and bigger, and the more bigger it get, you start running into more stuff. So here's just a little bit of people.
That goes to that saying I said, you got two worlds.
Yeah.
You got the world that you've been shown,
And
and
the
then you got the real world.
The real world.
You know what I'm saying? In our world, which is predominantly hip hop,
Yeah.
Dr. Dre is like the
pinnacle.
But
yeah, but it's bigger than, when you get to those people like a Quincy Jones or Willie Hutch, Curtis Mayfield. Them dudes are giants. They consider them they're composers.
Yeah.
You know, Ike Turner, even though he did what, you know, we know him for Smack and Tina, Ike was a composer. He created modern R&B is sitting on Ike Turner's back.
Like a Beethoven.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It starts from there. So then what's after that? It's people taking it another step further. So by the time they get to Stevie Wonder, you know, it's more people that was probably influenced by Ike Turner. So then they start taking it here. Then it goes here. Then somebody who influenced this person who was influenced by Ike Turner gonna influence R. Kelly. Then R. Kelly gonna influence Chris Brown, Trey Songz, or whoever else. Then who they gonna influence? It gotta keep going. It gotta keep expanding. It can't stay stuck. It gotta keep on going. So where it was one, it started with one. Now there's many, you know, or whatever. So it gotta keep going. It gotta keep getting better and better and better and better and better. But the only difference is between us and those people back then. How many niggas you know play an instrument right now?
It's all on computer now. You ain't got to play.
Still in all, you gotta tap in. That's where your soul at. And you know, in that drum, your soul. You know, you can tap into that guitar, the piano. You know, you could do it here too. Not saying I'm not taking anything away from that, but actually really to make it morph into something else, because it's kind of stuck right now. You don't feel it's real stuck. It's icky.
I ain't gonna lie. As a beat maker, there was one time my wife came down here, and I'm sitting there and I'm messing with making beats, right? So yeah, it's digital, but I run it through a beat program, and whatever sound I wanted to make, I can make it, right? But I got a keyboard. So I'm sitting there and I got it set on piano, and I'm playing the piano, right? And when I looked at her to see, I'm just looking at her to see what she thought of what I was doing. Like, she's sitting there like this, like hand over the mouth.
Like, oh wow.
Like, I didn't know you could play piano.
Yeah.
I said, I can't play piano.
Yeah.
But like me playing it, and I've done that a million times. So yeah, I know how to. If you want to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, you know what I'm saying? I could find the keys to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
You can play the little.
I probably could, but it's just like I can't read the music to play it. I gotta feel my way through it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But what I was doing, I was
as far as being classically trained, he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
But he could freestyle it.
Yeah, I was just freestyling, trying to get a rhythm going.
Yeah.
Like how the shit was 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing that, trying to get a rhythm going so I could have a melody for the beat I was working on.
Exactly.
And I'm looking at her and I'm like, yo, what you thought of that? When I look, like, she's like,
what's wrong with you?
oh my God, I didn't know you could play piano.
Brilliant.
But yo, like, yo, man, I could talk talk about this stuff all day.
Yeah, we can.
But
I can tell.
Yeah. But anything you want to add, bro? I ain't mean to leave you out.
Oh, good.
But like Brooklyn Pee Wee, man, you haven't disappointed at all.
It's always a pleasure, bro. Yeah.
Man, you are a encyclopedia of knowledge.
Wow, I appreciate that.
That's no problem, man. And,
as I look at it, I know nothing. I just, so it's just, it's not like this. I still got a lot more to learn.
Man, that's all of us.
Yeah, I know nothing. It's still got a lot more to learn.
But just talking to you, that inspires me to go deeper on some of the stuff that I've looked up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never ending. Never ending.
Knowledge is infinite. It is. I'm telling you, especially when you come to this music and black music and all of that. I'm gonna give you one if you ever get a chance to get this. It's a documentary. It's mad long. They may have it on YouTube. They may not. It's the Ken Burns thing on jazz, and it gets into how jazz was formed, with Jelly Roll Morton and all of them. It goes all the way up to when it splinters into R&B. It told you how it splinters when the blues and this. It gets, man, listen, you get a chance. I had it one time. I don't know where it's at. It was like a 10-disc set. I don't even know where it's at. I might let somebody borrow it, man. Yo, man, whoever out there got my Ken Burns Institute of Jazz, I need that. You know how it is when you let somebody borrow it, it becomes theirs. You got that, I need that. You know what I mean? But like, music itself, when it comes to black music here in the United States, everything that we listen to come from it. You know what I mean? Rock, soul, everything. You know what I mean? Everything come from that. Then how many times rock splinters and all these different pieces, alternative and this and metal. That's all come from one thing. Come from blues and jazz. It started from there. You know what I mean? So,
and that's one thing I think. Like with a lot of the young folks, like they don't
even know
how deep the history of whatever genre they're in. How deep that history goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's why I said, man, I could talk to you all day about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that,
man. Like if y'all fellas don't have anything else, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay, brother.
But this has been another episode of Yo That's Larry Podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed. And like I always say, if they can do it, I know damn well you can. Peace.